Hello again, Nada here. And per the thousands of requests I have been receiving as to how I lost the weight, I'm just kidding, nobody asked. This is the video where I will discuss how I lost. Now I'm down to 90 pounds. Not down to, I've lost 90 pounds, let's be accurate here. So I will let you know how it had all started. First of all, get your heart broken. No, I'm just kidding. Be ready to be ready. Be ready for that change. Be committed, and usually that takes either a heartbreak or just being sick and tired of not being able to move your body the way you want, or look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yes. So whatever your reason is, you're here, and I've been there. If you saw my previous video, I started my weight loss journey or my life-changing journey at 240 pounds. Getting divorced, lost my job, going back to school full-time, working on my bachelor's. Unhappy, very unhappy. So the hardest thing for me was not eating as much as I used to. I love food like we all do. So that was number one. And for that, my doctor prescribed phentermine, a very low dose just to help me out a little bit. Now, for those of you who have heard of fen back in the 90s, I believe, it's one of the phens, not the bad one, I hope. So what that did for me is it suppressed my hunger extremely, and it made me very thirsty. So I started to drink a lot of water. That was number one. That was key to help me to get my stomach back to what it's supposed to be, where I'm not eating as much. Number two, I started to work out a little. I started with group classes at the gym because it motivated me and it pushed me, because I needed that push, because I get embarrassed when I can't hang with the group. So I knew that if I was in a group, I was not going to mess up. I wasn't going to give up. I wasn't going to stop. I was going to keep on going. So don't be embarrassed. Like, you need that push. If you know yourself and you know you need that push, go to the gym, group classes, start there. After a month or two of doing the group classes, I really got into it, and I did see some weight loss difference, but not huge. So that's when I discovered in a little corner of my gym the Versa Climber. Now, the first time I saw the machine, I said, hey, it looks pretty cool. If you don't know it, it's the machine where you're just climbing up and down, moving your legs up and down as your arms, and you can adjust the tensity. This, you know what I'm saying. So I jumped on that machine, and I did 2 minutes and jumped right off, and I said, yeah, okay, that was embarrassing. I'm not going to do that again. That machine is pretty challenging, but the good thing about this machine is that if you are heavier set, or if you have bad knees or bad joints, because of the position of the machine, you're not putting all that pressure on your knees. So if one of your issues is knees or joints or something, that's not a bad machine to get on. It's a cardio machine. Like I said, I started with 2 minutes, and then I went home and I Googled it, because I was thinking to myself, if this machine is so hard to where I can't do 2 minutes of it, maybe something good is here. So I Googled it, and it turns out it's LeBron James's bitch. Excuse me, that's what he calls it. I since then have called it my baby, but that was his bitch. He said that's like the best cardio he can do in 45 minutes with the best calorie burn amount, and he just praised it. There was not too much information on the internet for it, unless you just looked at the machine itself, and when it first came out, it was a big thing. Regardless, I got back on that machine, and I slowly went from 2 minutes to 45 minutes a day. It's not easy. It really isn't. You really have to have good music, and I definitely needed some pre-workout in the beginning just to get me pushing and to get through the 45 minutes. I mean, at first it was 30 minutes. So if you can do 30 minutes a day, I think that should be sufficient, because it's a really good machine, cardio especially. So cardio is the best for losing fat, so in my opinion. And so I got on the machine, I started to do 45 minutes a day. That is when I started to see the weight falling off. I started to see definition in my arms, and I wasn't doing weights. I was just doing that machine. I started to notice my thighs looking a lot leaner and nicer, and I could actually see my muscle. And I was drenched at the end of my workout. And I don't know, that to me just feels good to sweat that much. So that was my baby for until they closed the gym back in March. So if you can find one now, these machines are pretty hard to find. I tried to find a gym that wasn't as expensive, and I couldn't. No gym has it, which is weird because it's a pretty awesome cardio machine. I don't know if they're worried about maybe having to get rid of other machines because they put that one in place. I'm not sure. But Versa Climber, climb on that. That's where I swear to you, that's where I got most of my results. Another thing is, while I was in college, I had to do a sugar research paper, and that is when I realized how terrible research. I mean, not research. Research is amazing. How terrible sugar is for our bodies, and especially if you're trying to lose weight, and for mental health too. I mean, just sugar. This is what I tell my family and my kids. Sugar is poison. You have to think of sugar as if it's just poison. It's no good for you. It's terrible for your cardiovascular health. It's just not worth it. It's really not. And if you just drop the sugar as much as you can, if not completely, as much as you can, you're going to make a huge difference in your life as far as how you feel, grogginess, or just your weight, of course. So sugar was another thing that I dropped completely. I am not the type of person who can do diets. You tell me I'm restricted to only certain things and I'm already giving up because it's just like, too much cooking, too much time to think about it. I'm just not a diet type of person. So I was real with myself and I told myself, we're not going to diet. We're going to eat. We're going to try to make the best choices. But it's portions. We're not going to eat as much. We're not going to indulge. Or I'm not going to eat until I'm stuffed. I'm going to eat until I'm satisfied, especially if I'm not choosing like the healthiest options. And it worked for me. So I feel quantity it might be more important than quality. Although, of course, if you do both, then you're winning more and you're gaining less. I mean, you're gaining more in less time if you stick to eating quality and quantity, taking care of those two things. What else? Find a man that motivates you. Well, for me, it came a year and a half into my weight loss journey. Luckily, he was able to see the future and see where I was going and where I'm still going because he's hot. Anyways, so positive mentality is also very important because when we put ourselves under stress or under being frustrated all the time, that's doing something to our body that's not allowing us to burn fat or lose weight. If anything, it's helping us retain that fat. So a book that I would recommend is Change Your Brain, Change Your Life by Dr. Omen. That book was really amazing. I highly recommend it, especially if you're on this goal, on this journey to changing your life physically and mentally. Grab that book. I did Audible. I listened to it. And I couldn't stop listening to it. It just made so much sense. And this book is not only going to help you to change your mentality about how you allow others to change your moods or to put you in a certain state of mind. It's also going to help you understand others. It's not going to allow you to be too critical on people because it's really going to explain how our brain is so sensitive and how everyone has had their traumas, and those traumas, every single one of those traumas has done something to change that person's perspective or to change that person's mood in a certain way. It's really interesting, so I highly recommend it. So phentermine, and by the way, I only did phentermine for 4 months. After that, I was like, I think I got it from here, and I did. And my thought is that I got my stomach to shrink down to what it should be. And that's what made it easier for me to let go of the medication and just continue to eat the same. So phentermine, I went to the gym, dropped the sugar, I drank more water, I read books that were going to help me mentally, which I think might have been one of the biggest things because I was always angry and frustrated and just blah. So, I'm currently weighing 154 pounds, and my weight goal is 130. So I'm almost there. And for those of you worried about the stretch marks and the saggy, yeah, it happens. Uh, Boobs and butt are made out of fat, so that's what it's gonna go. And for those that know me, it is sad to see me go from something to nothing in that area, but it's worth it. I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna grow it back, and it's gonna be healthier. um, but there are other areas that you can't help but to make a phone call to a very special person who's gonna charge you a very special amount of money, and do it. You worked so hard to lose the weight. I suggest you do whatever you want to make sure that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're 100% happy with it. And that's where I'm working at. That's my goal. And nothing's gonna stop me. So working out, change your mentality, drop the sugar, surround yourself with positivity. And right now what I'm doing is, since the gyms are closed, well, most of them, I am doing 90 minutes of cardio a day on a 12 incline on a treadmill. And I'm actually wearing also a hard strap around my thighs. Because like I said, I'm trying to grow my buns again. So I noticed some changes there already with adding the strap. So I'm doing it faithfully every day. And again, I'm still not on a diet. I just watch what I eat. I drink a lot of water. And I gotta say, like, I have a lot of motivation right now to just continue to go. And I believe it's just because of all the changes I've had. And it's just it fuels you with more energy, with more, how do you say it? Just makes me want more, and it makes it easier to do it because I'm seeing the results, and it's just fun. I've never had this. Back in high school, I didn't weigh this much. I remember weighing 180 pounds in high school. I was still a size 9. I mean, I wasn't terrible, but I'm really making changes in my life today that I've never done before. And I have more inspiration and more motivation, and I'm a lot more happier. So it's easy this way. But it's not easy, but it's, if you hit one day at a time. This is what I tell my daughter because she's working on herself too. Just think about for today. Just for today, I'm going to eat a healthier option of, even if it's at fast food, just grab a salad instead of that burger, or, bread. Bread is terrible. So just try to stick with the salads if you are going to eat out. But just target that day. We do only have control over today. And that's one of the things you'll learn if you start listening to books that, are meant to help change your life for the better. So work on today. Just for today, eat well. Just for today, do your at least an hour of cardio. Just for today, listen to a chapter in that book. Just for today, drink as much water as you can. Just for today, don't eat nothing with sugar. Before you know it, you're in day 30 and you're down 10 pounds or more. And it felt easier because you weren't so concentrated and worried about weighing in next week, and oh man, this week I only lost 5 pounds. I wonder what I'm gonna lose next week. And then you're so worried and stressed and frustrated with the idea of tomorrow or next week that you forget you have today and you have control of today. So just for today, that's my mentality and my advice. Another thing I would tell myself, it's now or never. It's now or never. I'm 34 years old. I'm not getting any younger. Everyone always talks about how it only gets harder to lose weight as you get older. So it's now or never. Do you see yourself at 65 with that body that you have? Mind you, your health problems are going to get worse, and it's going to get harder for you to try to change it then. So if you're comfortable seeing yourself how you are now at age 65, then continue living life, my dear. But if you were like me, where it's like, gosh, like, one day, like one day I'm gonna get it. One day I'm gonna get the strength and do it. It's today. It's now or never. And trust me when I say, even though I learned so much in my life the hard way, but, and I can't say I take back anything because I am who I am because of what I've been through. But man, it sucks to get reminders from Facebook of 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, and every single picture of myself is where I'm clearly unhappy. I am clearly overweight and unhappy, and I have a little regret of not doing this sooner, just because I feel like I spent my whole 20s overweight and unhappy. So if you're in your 20s and you're overweight and you're ready for change, do it. Do it, please do it. Like, you don't want to be like me at 34 looking back in your 20s and you spent your 20s miserable and unhappy. Now, hey, if you are happy with yourself the way you are, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person that was where I was at, where I wanted the change. I just didn't have the energy to do it. So please, like, don't be offended. I'm just saying, if you want the change, do it. Please do it now. You don't want to regret it. It sucks to see the pictures, every single picture, and family and friends from years ago. Like, it's not fun. I mean, it's cool to be like, wow, I was there one day and now I'm here and I'm happy, great. But at the same time, every picture is just sitting there with your overweight, unhappy face. So it's, do it now. Don't wait. Don't have regrets. Don't spend your 20s overweight and unhappy. You can do it. If you've seen my profile, I was big, 240 pounds. Like, my ex, who was 6'3", was weighing at 240 pounds. It's pretty embarrassing. I too felt I had gone too far and there was no coming back. And I was just going to have to die that way because losing all that weight was going to be impossible. It is very possible. Now, I'm at a weight where I'm happy, but 20 more pounds is going to take care of the other little extra stuff that I still have going on. I definitely will have to work a little bit more in my waist. You have babies, so it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but I definitely have a little bit more work to do. But man, if you were to see my belly, and I would have showed you my before picture, but I was so disgusted by it that I threw it away just recently too. But you can do it. You can do it. My belly was pretty gross, and it's looking awesome. And tanning is also something cool that helps cover the stretch marks. So I recommend tanning as well when you get to this point. But don't give up and don't keep pushing it for tomorrow. It's today or never, and every day counts, but just worry about today because that's what you have control over. Trying to think of anything else I can tell you about this weight loss journey that can help you. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys is that I personally feel that my body is changing every week, if not every day, according to my man. But it's going to be interesting to see the changes on video as well. So look at your body as art. You have the tools to carve it how you want. You really do. Anything you want to do, you really can do it. You really got to be ready. And but that's the fun part of it. When you start looking at it as like, this is your masterpiece and you're going to edit and tweak and work every part that is bothering you, it becomes fun because it's in your control. Nobody else can take that from you. You're going to work for it and you're going to enjoy it. And it's going to feel amazing. That's it. That's all I have for now. I hope I didn't miss anything. If you have any questions about anything I discussed, I hope I didn't blabber too much and just got straight to the point. Comment below, reach out to me. I will be happy to help you out. So this is week 1 and official topic video 1. And my name is Nada. We'll talk soon.